Welcome to the Bob Stoops app. I'm Brad McMullen alongside the Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops. And a big exciting thing happened a few years ago when the university announced that Oklahoma would once again play Nebraska. Now in the springtime there was possibility that that game was not going to happen. Now we know it's going to happen. It's going to be the big noon kickoff on Fox. Your thoughts just on the rivalry in general of Oklahoma-Nebraska?
It's great. I grew up an Ohio guy. Not that I was a Buckeye fan, but I'm in Ohio. I've watched Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame. But I never missed an OU Nebraska game. You know, when they were on TV, Thanksgiving, usually, you always watched it. Knew all the players. I was a big Tinker Owens fan. I was a receiver. And anyway, so always watched it. Loved the style of play of OU. And again, you love the toughness of both OU, Nebraska. Always, you know, at the time they were great defenses. So, it's a great rivalry. We're gonna, this year, 2021, we're celebrating the game of the century. Back in '71, when OU had a lead late in the game, and Nebraska, makes a big play late in the game to score a touchdown and take the lead. And I think it was right after one of our turnovers, they get the ball back and score late in the game to take the lead and win the game. So I've talked to Coach Switzer about it multiple times. But anyway, this is exciting now to play them again. The last time we played, 2010, it was in the AT&T Stadium in the Big 12 championship game.
And that was a great game itself. Nebraska came out guns a-blazing.
17-0, they go ahead of us, and I'm again like, all right, let's go. We got to hang in there, and then we fought our way back and win 20-17 in a heck of a game and exciting game. But I loved it. Big 12 championship game against our rival Nebraska. What a fun game.
And you were just following the recipe of success in that championship game, dating back to the 2000 game when you go down 14-0. We got them right where we want them. Well, now we're going to steamroll.
Yeah, I don't know about 17-0. That was getting worrisome, no question.
All right, let's talk about when you came to Oklahoma. They had, I'm going to say, down years, and one of the pivotal moments was when Nebraska came to Owen Field and scored virtually half 100 in a half. And the program was spiraling, and you come to town, you bring us back, you win a national championship in your second year, and the program just took off from there. You've got Scott Frost at Nebraska. He loves that program. You coached against him. He's inherited a program that has been struggling, and unfortunately for him, they've continued to struggle. What is the key to turning that program around?
It's hard to say when you're not there. You're not participating in it and seeing it day to day. So, all I'm doing would be to be speculating. I'd say, first of all, I believe in Scott Frost as a great coach. He did a great job at Central Florida. That doesn't happen by accident. He's a great competitor, and if anyone could get it turned around, it would be him. Again, I've got great respect in all that he's done. And so to me, things usually, it gets back to culture. When I got to OU, our culture was really poor. Our self-image was very poor. And our work ethic was very poor. So all of that leads to poor performance. And that's just reflecting on us at OU. I'm not at Nebraska. And our biggest job in our first year, our first months, I've talked to our staff all the time, is talk and build everybody up. I said, our guys have been kicked around so long, they believe they're that bad. And it's impossible to overcome and be great if you don't believe it. So I just wanted us to change our culture and what we believed in ourselves and what we expected from ourselves. And then the other mantra we had, it was in weight room, running, whatever it was, we're going to earn it. So that once we play, our guys are going to be, we've worked too hard not to win, so, and then I think too, you luck out and get the right guys recruiting. Our first year, we hit the jackpot, and we were guys that weren't hardly recruited. Josh Heupel, there wasn't many people out.
Quentin Griffin.
Quentin Griffin was third. He
Malcolm
rotated
Kelly.
with 2 other quarterbacks Quentin rotated with. Derek Strait, Thorpe Award winner and
made
all.
one of the biggest plays in OU history against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, no question. It goes on and on. I mean, we Torrance Marshall, so our leading tackler, our best DB, on and on. Brandon Everidge was in that class as well, a first-team All-American. All these guys, there weren't many people recruiting. So we kind of hit the jackpot on the guys that could make a difference that weren't the highest recruits, the highest rated recruits. And there's more. I'm forgetting guys. So in the end, I think that was part of it too. And then I think too, coming in, we worked with our current players so well that we're already on the roster. And I'll be honest, but they accepted us. And we got them to accept us by the way we treated them, talked with them, worked with them, built them up, those kind of things. And then we eliminated guys that weren't helping the team. When I took the job, I knew Lou Holtz pretty well, and I called Coach Holtz within the first week. Come to think of it, I think Coach Holtz called me, and that's like him. He wanted to just talk to me about getting the job. And he said, Bobby, just remember, there's 3 ways you're going to make your team better. He said, 1 is recruiting, develop what you got, and eliminate. I said, wow, seriously, Coach? He goes, there's going to be guys that need to go. They always complaining, always late, or they bring you down, whatever reason. Don't want to work, they want to set their own pace instead of the pace the strength coach wants to set. On and on. Some guys just naturally don't want to do the earn it. So I said, I wrote it down. I said, you got to eliminate. Not want to, but some guys just, they're going to force your hand and you got to do it. And we did that, in our first year. Some guys just didn't want to live up to the standards we were going to have, and that's okay. But you don't have to be here.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I remember the most about when you came in. First off, you didn't have a lot of players. I mean, the numbers were very small. And then you had people, and I'll just say that I'm not going to say particular names, but people that quit on the program that just said, hey, I'm out, or I'm going to declare early, or whatever it is. And here's OU without their first 3 quarterbacks from the previous year, their first 2 or 3 running backs from the previous year.
Right.
And then you went in and you got people to buy into the team concept and said, hey, JT Thatcher, here's a new position. Hey, Frank Romero, here's a new position. And you made those things happen, and you put them around a quarterback in Josh Heupel that nobody else wanted. I mean, let's make that clear. Right. I mean, it wasn't like you were battling against Texas or Notre Dame or USC for his services. You guys saw things in him, that he was coachable, that he was a coach on the field, that he could make these decisions that you needed to be made, and it turned it around. That's a tall order for any program, let alone what you're able to do at Oklahoma.
Yeah, we did. We manipulated what we had. And what we did have, we had some exceptional guys. There weren't many, but the ones we have were special. JT Thatcher ended up special. Rocky Kalmus, on and on. I mean, Trent Smith ended up, a great player here for us. And who? I mean, there's plenty, that Roy Williams, I mean, for goodness sake, as good as a defensive guy ever had. But again, a lot of the other pieces weren't there around him whatsoever. Like you said, quarterbacks were hard to find. And you're not going to win many games without a quarterback or a running back. So in the end, what we did have accepted us. They helped us recruit this class that ended up so exceptional. And it all came together in a quick way. And to me, I want to say we're that smart, and obviously we were, but I think too we had a little bit of luck in it all. The way those players gelled together in such a fast way.
I remember being a student when you were hired. I'm standing on the steps of the Capitol at Evans Hall, and the administration office, and you went up there and you said, the one thing I love about Oklahoma is I embrace the expectations, and there will be no excuses. At Nebraska, they also have these expectations. And I hate to say it, sometimes they're unrealistic. What are they going to do to be able to use that to their advantage? Because you did. I did an interview with you way back in '99 before the first season. He said, our goal is to win them all. I mean, you embraced that. Is Is it kind of taking that unrealistic expectation sometime and say, let's live on it, let's do it, let's make it happen, let's put in the work to actually win every game?
Well, we did, and fortunately, you know, we did pretty darn well through the years, and those expectations weren't leaving. I knew that, so I embraced them, and we're going to do everything. I tell the players we're going to do everything we can to live up to this. You know, in those early years, I would show clips of the great OU teams, Coach Switzer, and this is what you as a player are supposed to play like. This is what our teams are supposed to play like. And I said, look, and it isn't just you. I said, I gotta walk into Barry Switzer Center every single day. Look at his national championships, Bud Wilkinson's. I said, I got a lot to live up to. I'm expected to do that. So all of us, you know, so embrace it and let's do all we can to get it done. And that was our motto, you know, and fortunately, like I said, it happened in a pretty good way. I kiddingly was said to a few people, I said, I wish I'd have lost the first couple national championships and then won. I said, when we won the one right away, everyone thought we're going to
every year.
You don't ever lose them, you know. So, but anyway, it's never too bad when you're fighting for it, though, and you're out on the field playing for a national championship. You've done pretty well.
There have been articles written, literally there's been books written, there's been a lot of commentators talk about where Nebraska should be and where they are today. And talking about that 2010 team where they're playing Oklahoma for the Big 12 championship, and they were a great team and had great players, to today look at the NFL draft board. You know, they don't have the great players that at one time they had. What do you think contributed to that? Are you one of the ones that says, hey, when they left the Big 12, it affected their recruiting into the state of Texas. It affected things, and now they had to go head-to-head in other states in a completely different conference? Or do you just say, hey, they just missed on certain players that they thought would?
I don't think there's any question. You have to question moving to the Big Ten. How beneficial has that been for them? You know, that's, again, this is an outsider.
Yep.
I'm not there to know what all the ins and outs, but from the outside looking in, it hadn't been great for them. You know, so for whatever, all the reasons maybe that you're saying. And you look at, I believe that's right, the furthest west team. And all those teams, you know, that they're playing are so far, you know, east and upper Midwest and East Coast. Anyway, I don't know. It just from the outside looking in doesn't look like it's been very beneficial to their football team.
And even in the years where they appeared like they had some momentum, the injury bug, and you experienced this multiple times, 2008, 2009, 2010, where you had, hey, if my roster plays, I can beat anybody. But unfortunately, my roster is hurt. It changes the outcome of games many times.
Yeah, but that's part of the game. You know, sometimes you hit it just right. Like you said, I think that national championship year, I don't know that we missed a player the whole year if we had anybody out. And other times it just happens. You know, like you said, the 2009 season, we lose Jermaine Gresham in the week of the first game for the entire year, who's a first-round tight end. You know, Sam gets hurt. Anyway, sometimes you
Trent Williams got
hurt. We played a tight end at tackle against Oklahoma State who had never played tackle. And he played a great game, Eric Mensick. Thank you, Eric. I hope you see this. But played a great game. Never had played tackle in his life. And we had everyone else was hurt. So tight end moved there the Thursday before the game just to get his assignments down. So anyway, but yeah, sometimes it's you just get unlucky and it happens. You know, it happens to all teams here and there.
All right, wrapping it up with the keys to victory here in the 2021 game. Oklahoma, a big favorite. The expectations are OU's going to do really well in this game, but they've got to focus in because this is the game. We talked about this earlier. Everybody circles Oklahoma. And the only way Nebraska gets back in that conversation, they can get back in the conversation right away if they come to Norman and beat the Sooners.
Yeah, there's no question. But I believe our guys will be aware of that. We know we're getting their best shot. And let's focus on how good we can be. You know, how can we be at our best? What's it take to be at our best? And I talk to our guys a lot about what it takes to be your best isn't just your practice through the week, your preparation. you got your rest, but mentally and emotionally, are you ready to play? That's your job. I can't get inside your head and know that. So you understand what it takes for you to walk on the field and be your best, and that's a big deal. And that part of it, the emotional and mental investment in that full day of work.
It's going to be fun seeing the two Big Reds battle it out.
Absolutely.
Crimson and Cream versus the Big Red of Nebraska. Oklahoma, Nebraska honoring that big 50th anniversary. That will be the big noon kickoff for Fox. And don't forget, each and every week you can see Coach Stoops on the big noon kickoff. For latest content and your chance to have lunch with Coach Stoops, just tune in right here to the Bob Stoops app. Again, you can enter to win a chance to have lunch with Coach Stoops right here inside the app. For the Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops, I'm Brad McMullen.